Hello and welcome. You're watching Game On Hai, and probably when Rashid Latif said that the tournament may well begin today, we smirked, we laughed, and we took a pass. The tournament had already started a couple of days ago. But it seems that he had contemplated wisely. 229 for 4 when South Africa posted on the board. It seemed that Englishmen, they were on their way home. They may well be ready to book their flights, British Airways or Emirates, that we do not know. But then Jason Roy, the way he started, Alex Hales, and followed by that amazing 83 from Joe Root, it seemed that the tables were being turned. And eventually England romped home, creating a new ICC World T20 record for chasing the highest number of runs. Previously it was held by South Africa at Johannesburg in 2007 against the West Indies when they chased 208. It was an incredible game of cricket. And then, in contrast, we saw another match at Dharamshala between New Zealand and England, and New Zealand bowlers, they restrained Australia, not allowing them to overhaul their score of 142. So that has simply been amazing. We have with us an Aussie who may well not be that happy and joyous because his team went down today, but obviously to me he has been a legend, a genuine fast bowler, and the bowler of all generations, Glenn McGrath. Hi Glenn.
G'day.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I've had better days, but yeah.
Our commiserations. It happens.
It happens. It happens. So yeah, disappointing day. I thought for Australia to restrict New Zealand to 142, I thought they did very well. But it was a slow turning wicket, hit the wicket and was coming on slow. But then their run chase, I thought, started really well in the box seat, and they basically threw it away from there. I thought they could have paced their run chase a lot better and got home. But in the end fell 8 runs short, and New Zealand, they're on fire.
Would you like to pick New Zealand as the team to watch in the tournament?
Well, yeah, it's tough for me because I can never go past Australia. But if I was putting Australia to one side and I had to pick from the rest of the group, rest of the teams in the World T20, New Zealand would be my team.
Okay, and we have with us, probably his name should be a predictor, because in the pre-match analysis he said that his teams were England, his England, and also he sided with New Zealand. We have with us the masterly, the real maestro, who has anguished me, angered me, and hurt me, Mr. Brian Lara.
What did I do?
Nothing. I can't say it on air. Good to see you.
Yeah, nice.
So now you do not need any business, because you just could have a chair and a table and start predicting.
No.
It's 100%.
I honestly felt that the way the game panned out, that two teams that had a lot of room for improvement, had a game under their belt already, came out victorious today. And I think that experience in India, don't worry about all the practice games, playing in the tournament, I think gave them the edge.
All right. So was it an exhilarating game of cricket?
Oh, it was awesome. I have to agree with Rashid that the first 4 games were, massive wins for one team. These two went right down to the wire. And I mean, England was winning very comfortably with 2 overs to go, but they really wanted to give their position South Africa a chance.
All right, and we have with us, he is now cleaning his sleeves, a gentle off spinner who could bowl a dusra, also invented, now he claims that he has invented the tisra, and probably the best off spinner of all times. We have with us
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Sahab.
Shuklan Mushtaq. Wa alaikum salam, sir.
कैसे
आपने पहले सलाम कर दी सर.
जाओ सॉरी मैं समझा कि शायद आपने मेरा
कंप्लीट हो गया, तारुफ आपका हो गया.
मैंने कहा आपने काटना मैं काट दूं, जीरा ब्लेड को हम काट दें.
And we have with us the former Pakistan captain Rashid Latif, and honestly speaking, we were together watching this game, and he just stood up and said 229 England would be chasing it today. He said that. So Rashid, you also predict.
मॉरिस से कितने ओवर के कितने रन दिए आज?
So you want to avenge it all, huh?
England were tough cricket खेली last 40 overs.
No.
अगेंस्ट वेस्ट इंडीज बॉलिंग की इन्होंने 18.1 ओवर में 180 चेज करवाए। फिर नेक्स्ट इनिंग में 229 तकरीबन 38.1 ओवर में 411 रन कंसीड किए और उसके बाद चेज करने जा रहे हैं। देखिए मंथली देखें इतने टफ हो गए, पुरानी ब्रिटिश की टीम जब बात कर रहे थे ना, इतने टफ है, 2 मुश्किल इनिंग जो बॉलिंग की है उसके बाद चेज करने जा रहे हैं। क्रेडिट इनके जो स्पोर्टिंग स्टाफ है या कोचिंग स्टाफ है उनको जाता है कि किस तरह से बिल्डअप किया है इंग्लैंड की टीम।
अच्छा, आपकी टीवी पे क्रिस मॉरिस आया था, मेरे पे नहीं आया। 3 overs nobody is done for 43 is not bad, Glenn.
ऑस्ट्रेलिया थोड़ा सा अनलकी रहा। कैप्टनसी का बड़ा डिफरेंस नजर आया मुझे, जो जैसे मैं देख रहा था मैच विलियमसन एंड स्मिथ की, क्योंकि ये अपने मेन बॉलर जो लाया आफ्टर 6 ओवर्स लेके आया स्पिनर्स विलियमसन, लेकिन स्मिथ जो लेके आया एगर को लेके आया, उसने 17-18 रन बने, उसको 1 ओवर किया उसने। मेरे ख्याल से स्पिनर्स को इस मैच में पीछे से लेके आना चाहिए था, जो कि हारने की वजह एक बनी है। और मोस्टली ऑस्ट्रेलियन ने या न्यूजीलैंड ने एयर में स्ट्रोक्स खेले हैं, मिड विकेट तो उन्होंने प्लान किया हुआ था मिड ऑन, मिड विकेट एंड स्क्वायर लेग। मोस्टली ऑस्ट्रेलियन प्लेयर्स लाइक मिड विकेट, तो वहां पे बहुत आउट हुए। उन्होंने रूम बना के कट नहीं मारे जैसे ऑस्ट्रेलियन मशहूर है, जिसकी वजह से एयर में खेली। ज्यादातर आप देखिएगा अभी जो फॉल ऑफ विकेट्स है हवा में मारी, जिसकी वजह से आउट हुए।
जी सकी भाई, वेरी क्विकली बिकॉज वी हैव अ सरप्राइज फॉर यू।
क्या बात करें?
पहले बोले मुझे आज कुछ बात करने को नहीं
आप
है।
सवाल ही नहीं कर
न्यूजीलैंड, मैं तो सवाल करने जोगा नहीं रहा। क्रिस मॉरिस 3 overs nobody is done for 43।
आपने कहा मैं सवाल करूंगा, फिर आपने जवाब।
सर मैं आपसे सवाल बाकायदा सवाल का आगाज करता हूँ। ये निश्चित उम्मीद है कि बहुत अच्छी होगी और यकीनन कि पहले तो आपकी खैरियत मतलूब है और यकीनन आप बखैरियत होंगे।
थैंक यू वेरी मच, बहुत शुक्रिया
जी सर।
जिस तरह आज दोनों मैच हुए बड़े एक्साइटिंग मैच थे और आई थिंक आई एम श्योर कि हमारे पाकिस्तानी लड़के भी देख रहे होंगे मैच, क्योंकि
कतन नहीं। अच्छा
क्यों कतन नहीं, डेफिनेटली देख रहे होंगे और इनको बहुत ज्यादा अंदाजा होगा कि किस तरह जो है गेम का मोमेंटम लेके जाना है और किस तरह गेम जिस तरह इंग्लैंड ने गेम बनाया और किस तरह गेम को फिनिश किया। रूट की खासतौर पे इनिंग्स मैं समझता हूँ, क्योंकि हमारे इश्यूज जो है पाकिस्तान में जो बैटिंग लाइनअप से हैं, तो हमें इंग्लैंड की इनिंग्स देखनी चाहिए किस तरह इंग्लैंड ने आज किया और साउथ अफ्रीका ने कैसे टोटल सेट किया। ये बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिल सकता है हमारे पाकिस्तानियों को। और मैं ये समझता हूँ जिस तरह न्यूजीलैंडर्स ने बॉलिंग की और विलियमसन की जो कप्तानी रही है, इससे शाहिद अफरीदी को बहुत हेल्प मिल सकती है अगर वो देखे इस तरह की चीजें ऑब्वियसली। और जिस तरह स्पिनर्स बॉलिंग कर रहे हैं, जिस पेस से कर रहे हैं, सेंटनर और सूडी ने जिस तरह बॉलिंग की है, मैं ये समझता हूँ कि जाहिर है मैच तो अच्छे हुए, रिजल्ट हमारे सामने हैं, मगर क्योंकि कल हमारा मैच है, पूरी जहां जहां पे जाते हैं, चाहे छाबड़ी वाला है वो भी यही पूछ रहा है, किसी ऑफिस में जा रहे हो वो भी पूछ रहा है, पूरी कॉम जो है वो पम्प्ड अप है। तो उस लिहाज से कि अगर ये मैच देखे जाए तो दे कैन लर्न अ लॉट फ्रॉम
Two things.
जी।
One, sitting next to Glenn, you said that both the matches were exciting.
हाँ जी, अच्छे थे मैच, obviously अच्छे थे।
That's fine. Okay.
It depends on what perspective you're looking at. From.
Okay.
It's all good.
And two, I hope that Pakistanis, they do not take home the message of South African bowling and Australia's batting today. So should we move to our
No, obviously, you know, when as a cricketer, they must watch root innings and they can learn from there, and they should watch how the Centner were bowling and Sudi, you know, the pace, because we rely on 3 spinners as well, and the way they chase, because we have that issue in Pakistan team, how to chase the big total, and tomorrow is a big game, and I think, I'm sure they can learn a lot from these 2 matches.
Is it a big game or the biggest of the ICC World
I think
T20?
this is the
Being played in
biggest.
India?
I think this is the biggest game. Yeah.
The biggest.
Now, you mentioned that, you know, with Morris went for 43 off 3, but Jordan went for 49 off 3, and the great Dale Steyn went for 35 off 2.
Oh my
So
God.
it's tough. It's
Thank you
tough
very much,
being a
Glenn.
bowler these days. isn't it?
Thank you very much, Glenn. So Chris was better of the lot. Chris Morris was better of the lot. More economical, right? जी,
मैं
you want to add something?
देखिए न्यूजीलैंड जो मैच खेला है ना, ये मेन स्टेडियम नहीं है अभी तक, इसको जो अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली है ना, मेन स्टेडियम नहीं है और लकी रहा एक तरफ से। लेकिन जहाँ पे पिचेज अच्छी है, मेन स्टेडियम इंडिया के हैं, कोलकाता है, मुंबई, यहाँ पे रन की देखें आप, मेरे ख्याल से जो विकेटों का मैार है, पिचेज का जो स्टैंडर्ड है, वो मेन स्टेडियम पे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है।
Okay.
आने वाले मैचेस में भी हम ये सोचेंगे कि यहाँ पे ज्यादा रन बनेंगे.
Okay.
लेकिन स्मॉल स्टेडियम लाइक नागपुर एंड धर्मशाला यहाँ टर्न मिल रहा है. इसका मतलब स्क्वायर जो है पिच का वो इतना ज्यादा स्टैंडर्ड का नहीं है.
Okay, so you want to say that Kolkata, Delhi and Mumbai, they have better strips?
Mohali as well.
Mohali, so conducive for batting, while these small stadiums like in Nagpur or Dharamshala, they were conducive for spin.
स्टैंडर्ड पिचेस नहीं बनी क्योंकि पूरे बाय ईयर पूरे मैचेस नहीं होते जिसकी वजह से विकेट को केयर नहीं किया हुआ.
Very nicely said, and if we could have our first segment. So, Brian, let's start our argument. Your team for England?
Today, with England and New Zealand, but we're talking about the team that I think will win the World Cup.
The World T20.
Yes.
Okay.
And I know these guys are not expecting it.
Yeah.
But I think South Africa is going to win the
ICC World T20.
Yes.
So your team for the tournament is South Africa.
Yes. I have now seen all 10 teams play. I know I'm stepping a little bit outside the line because you know why? South Africa has to play the West Indies, and the only way they could make the semi-finals is if they beat the West Indies.
Okay.
But my feeling is that their batting looks very strong. They've got some very experienced bowlers that did not fire today. I don't know if the wet ball was a problem, but I think in terms of batting, and they look really solid as a team. The two openers were very good. We know what De Villiers is capable of, and they bat pretty deep. And I expect their bowlers to improve. And that is my team for the World Cup T20.
What about your England?
Well, I mean,
You know, straight out the window.
So, Brian,
I think
you are changing.
I know I'm not
You're
changing.
changing your course.
This segment is about the winners
Yeah.
of the World, not the winners today.
Yeah.
I finished with that job.
Yeah, okay.
The winners of the World Cup. And after assessing all 10 teams, I believe South Africa is the team.
So
that's
South
gonna
Africa
win.
would play against Pakistan in the finals?
I'd love that. Sitting down here in Islamabad, I would love for that to be the final.
Okay. Okay, so Glenn, now we want Glenn a cricketer, not an Australian.
Yeah, so
contemplating who's going to win ICC World T20.
A very hard position because I have never gone against Australia, even when I thought they would probably lose. So, I find it very difficult to say I'm not going to back Australia. I will always go for Australia. I think today they were very disappointing. Hopefully they've learnt from it, and the wickets coming up will be better that they play on it. Those really turning slow tracks. Well, we saw India the other day capitulate on that track, and Australia did the same thing, but I think that was more with their game plan. So I still think they can go all the way, but if I was to put Australia to one side...
No, you're only allowed to pick one.
Only one
There
team.
you go.
Yeah.
You're allowed to pick one.
Yeah.
What I want to ask you, Glenn, is
Yes.
that you got to get past the host to make it to the semi-finals. Are you saying that India is not going to make it? Because with New Zealand beating India and Australia, you can say it's kind of a
New Zealand
sailing
are
into
gonna
the
make it.
semis.
Yeah.
So are you saying that the host India is not making it into the finals?
Yes.
Okay.
If Australia beats them, so if I had to put Australia to one side, New Zealand is a team that has really impressed me over quite a period of time. I like their attitude, the way they go about it. Everyone knows their spot in the team, and they just gel so well. Looking from the outside, as a team environment, I think New Zealand is number one for team environment.
And probably the best captain? Very sure.
He's steady. I don't know about best captain. I don't think he's been captain for that long. But to step in, Brendan McCullum leaving, it's just opened the door for the other guys to really show what they've or continue to show what they've got. But one little statement I'll make: you take out the Afghanistan match, Sri Lanka match. Every team that has won the toss has won the game.
Sure.
So, does the toss, or will the toss continue to play such a big part in the rest of this this tournament as well?
I just have one question to ask. Are we allowed to pick two teams?
No,
Because-
just one.
Well,
Yeah, one home and
Okay,
one away.
Yeah, we don't want any comments about New Zealand.
Now, can we change as we go along, or we have to stick
Yes,
to
yes, you
Australia
could.
the
I
whole
mean,
time?
if they're heading home, we'll
Yeah,
give
yeah.
you another opportunity.
Yeah,
Okay, Australia's my turn.
So you want to counter his choice, New Zealand?
In terms of?
Like you agree to his contentions
No,
about?
Australia,
No,
Australia's my
I'm not
team.
discussing any other team other than the team that I chose. The team, he chose Australia.
So no, he chose New Zealand.
No, I chose
Australia.
Australia.
Okay.
Australia's my
Okay,
team.
so
I'm
you-
saying
okay.
New Zealand's
You
impressed
wanted,
me,
you wanted a second
Okay,
pick.
so
But,
your number, your
Australia's-
first pick is Australia, yours is South Africa. G,
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
G.
Why?
Why?
Three reasons. At least you have to justify. Why did you think that New Zealand could just? get into the tournament?
I think their bowling unit is really
They've
good.
only reached the semi-final once in their lifetime.
न्यूजीलैंड
Look,
क्वालिफाई
yeah.
नहीं करेगी न्यूजीलैंड
I
Please, sir.
don't, I don't go in the past. What they are doing now,
Yeah.
so I'm just looking the present situation and the way they are playing. On behalf of that, I'm choosing New Zealand. Their bowling unit, I think their spinners are bowling absolutely wonderful. Their sports staff, I think they are very sort of intelligent, and they, in the first game, the way they execute, they change the plan, and the way they execute the plan, I think it's wonderful. Batting lineup looks good as well. Sensible cricket they've been playing. And I think the way they've been playing for the last couple of months, I think New Zealand is my
You know
team.
how many runs South Africa scored in the first 6 overs? You're still not intimidated.
New Zealand
Are you
is
sure
my
that
team.
New Zealand?
New Zealand is my team.
You think that New Zealand?
Yes, New Zealand
Rashid
is my
Latif, the former Pakistan captain, is of the opinion they may well not qualify for the semi-finals.
Who?
New Zealand.
If he's saying it, I don't care about
Okay.
that. But New Zealand
That's
is my
like
team.
Saki Bhai.
New Zealand is my
Gee,
team.
Rashid Bhai. Your team. One team.
West Indies.
West Indies. You think that West Indies they would be able to beat New Zealand? They would be able to beat
They can beat
South
anyone,
Africa,
anyone.
England,
They can beat anyone.
and they could crash anytime.
And they could lose to anyone.
Yeah.
They could even lose to
But
one.
I'm very positive.
So, are you sure that you are not being intimidated sitting next to Brian Lara and you are just picking? You're making your pick?
पाकिस्तान एक साइड पे कहते हैं हम नेशनल है उसकी बात नहीं करेंगे ठीक है वो तो अंडरस्टूड सी बात है
Yeah.
लेकिन वेस्ट इंडीज की टीम मेंटली टफ है फिजिकली टफ है मैक्सिमम हिट मार सकते हैं और चेज कर सकते हैं 12 रन पर ओवर चेज कर सकते हैं ये
West
क्वालिटी
Indies
किसी
का-
और टीम में नहीं है
All right.
वेस्ट इंडीज न्यूजीलैंड का मैच हो रहा है कोई?
नहीं वो तो नहीं होगा ना वो तो ना हो अल्लाह करे
अगर
because if it happens this means New Zealand qualifies for the pre-finals. So my team now. Yeah, you.
No, I was going to say just the one thing to finish. When Australia has their backs against the wall, with that, which they do now, losing the first one, they normally come out firing. So that's another thing in the favour of me going for Australia. I thought I should put something. I spoke too much about New Zealand, so we'll forget that. Just stick with Australia.
Well, I'd just like you to know that Australia would be on a plane come, when was their last game?
It's been said before, Brian.
No. We could argue about this all night.
So before we take our first break, when you have A.B. de Villiers, when you have Hashim Amla, and then you have Quentin de Kock, and you have David Miller, and the list moves on, Faf du Plessis, this means that South Africa, they are in for rattling quite a few of the position. So my team is South Africa. I'm taking my team as South Africa, so joining Mr. Brian Lara. Game on that. So let's take the break.